The elevator doors slid shut with a hiss, trapping us in that sterile metal box hurtling toward the penthouse sky. My heart hammered like a glitchy algorithm, the cheap champagne sloshing in my veins as I turned to him, Ethan Hale, the untouchable king of our Silicon Valley empire, and blurted, "I think I'm in love with you, and it's ruining my goddamn life." His eyes, those storm-gray pools that could freeze a boardroom solid, widened just a fraction before the car jolted to a stop, and in that suspended breath, the world cracked open. I never meant to say it out loud. Hell, I barely admitted it to myself on the good days. But there I was, 28 and unraveling, my tie askew like a noose I'd half-tied, staring at the man who'd built Hale Tech from a garage startup into a billion-dollar beast. Ethan Hale didn't just run the company. He embodied it, sharp suits tailored to his broad shoulders, a jawline that could cut glass, and a presence that made interns scatter like startled pigeons. To the world, he was the ice sculpture CEO, brilliant, distant, married to the grind. To me, he was the forbidden glitch in my code, the one variable I couldn't debug. It started innocently enough, or as innocent as crushes get in the pressure cooker of tech. I'd landed at Hale Tech 2 years back, fresh out of Stanford with a marketing degree and dreams bigger than my student loans. San Francisco welcomed me with fog-shrouded mornings and rent that bit harder than a bad breakup. The office was a gleaming fortress in Soma, glass walls etched with circuit patterns, open-plan floors buzzing with coders hunched over triple monitors, and free kombucha on tap that tasted like fermented regret. I fit right in, or so I told myself, pitching viral campaigns for our AI ethics app while dodging the occasional HR seminar on work-life boundaries. Ethan was the ghost in the machine. He rarely showed his face below the executive floor, but when he did, Jesus. Striding through the bullpen in a navy brioni, sleeves rolled to reveal forearms veined like rivers on a map, he'd pause at my desk sometimes. "Carter," he'd say, voice low and edged like a compiler error, "your Q3 metrics are off the charts. Keep it up." I'd nod, throat dry, pretending it was the recycled air making me lightheaded. Alex Carter, that's me. Queer as a $3 bill, out since high school, but suddenly tongue-tied around a straight-arrow boss who probably alphabetized his protein shakes. The holiday party was the spark that lit the fuse. Hale Tech's annual bash at the Fairmont, all crystal chandeliers and waiters in penguin suits slinging craft cocktails. The theme was Code and Conquer, which meant ironic binary code projections on the walls and a DJ spinning electronica remixes of Silent Night. I showed up in a slim-fit blazer over a white tee silk-screened with a pixelated heart, subtle armor for my nerves. My best friend and roommate, Jamie, had dragged me out pregame with tequila shots in our Mission District walk-up. "Loosen up, Lex," he teased, his eyeliner sharper than his wit. "It's not every day you get to ogle the boss man without an NDA." Jamie knew about the crush. Everyone in my orbit did, probably. I'm the type who wears his heart on his Instagram grid. But Ethan? He glided through the crowd like a shark in chummed waters, shaking hands with VCs while nurses nursed his scotch neat. I watched from the bar, nursing my third gin and tonic, the fizz mirroring the static in my chest. He laughed at something a board member said, rare, genuine, head thrown back, and it hit me like a server crash. I wanted that laugh aimed at me. Not the polished exec, but the man behind the mask. By midnight, the gin had me bold. The party's energy peaked with a conga line of devs chanting startup slogans, and I found myself weaving toward the elevators, away from the noise. Fate, or poor spatial awareness, conspired. Ethan stepped in just as the doors parted. Alone. The car hummed upward, the city lights smearing into streaks beyond the glass. That's when it spilled out. Not poetry, not a Hallmark script. Just raw, sloppy truth. "Ethan, Shit, this is stupid. But every time you're in a room, it's like the whole system's lagging because of you. I think I'm in love with you, and it's ruining my goddamn life." The words hung there, heavier than the hangover waiting in the wings. His face, God, that face, didn't shatter the ice. It melted, just a drip. He leaned against the rail, Scotch glass dangling from long fingers, and murmured, "Alex, you don't know what you're saying." But I did. The elevator dinged at the rooftop lounge, empty now save for forgotten confetti. He didn't walk away. Instead, he guided me to a corner booth, his hand light on my elbow. Firm enough to steady, soft enough to spark. We talked, or I rambled, the alcohol loosening valves I'd soldered shut. About growing up in a sleepy Ohio suburb, coming out to parents who hugged too tight and asked too many questions. About moving west for reinvention, only to find the same old code running in my veins. He listened, really listened, his gray eyes softening to slate under the string lights. "You see me as cold," he said finally, voice a rumble over the distant bass from below. "Calculated. But it's survival, Alex. This world. It chews up vulnerability." He swirled his drink, ice clinking like Morse code. I wanted to ask what demons chased him, but the gin whispered retreat. Instead, I leaned in, too close, always too close, and our knees brushed under the table. Electricity. His breath hitched barely, but I caught it. The night blurred after that. More drinks, stolen glances, a slow dance to some indie track where his hand settled at my waist like it belonged. No kiss, not yet, but the promise hummed between us. When the party wound down, he insisted on walking me out. "Can't have my star marketer stumbling into traffic," he joked, but his eyes were serious. In the hotel lobby, valets fetching his sleek Audi, I turned for one last shot. "Ethan, about what I said. Get in the car." He cut in, gentle but firm. "We'll talk tomorrow. Sober." I did, collapsing into the leather seat as he drove through the neon-veined streets of San Francisco. The fog rolled in like a confidant, swallowing the Transamerica Pyramid's spike. He didn't take me home, to the cramped apartment with Jamie's cat posters peeling off the walls. No, he pulled into the valet at his Pacific Heights condo, a modernist tower overlooking the bay. "Just crashing here," he explained, helping me out. "Safer." His place was Ethan incarnate. Minimalist lines, floor-to-ceiling windows framing the Golden Gate like a postcard. A single Eames chair by a shelf of first-edition sci-fi. No photos, no clutter, just space that echoed. He poured water, handed me aspirin with a wry smile. "Hydrate, Carter. You've got a pitch at 9. I laughed, throat raw. "Bossing me around even off the clock?" "Always." He lingered in the doorway of the guest room, sleeves rolled higher now, collar unbuttoned to reveal a sliver of collarbone. The air thickened, charged. I stepped closer. Foolish, reckless. And his hand rose, thumb brushing my jaw. "Sleep it off, Alex. Whatever this is. It's complicated." Then he was gone, door clicking shut. I stripped to boxers, face burning as I slid under Egyptian cotton sheets that smelled faintly of his cologne. Cedar and storm. Sleep came in fits, dreams tangled with gray eyes and half-spoken confessions. Morning cracked my skull like an overclocked CPU. Sunlight speared through blinds, the bay glittering mockingly beyond. My mouth tasted like regret and olives. Groaning, I hauled myself up, padding barefoot to the kitchen. Coffee brewed itself, smart home perks, and there he was, Ethan at the island, in a crisp white shirt, hair damp from a shower, scrolling his tablet. Domestic, surreal. "Morning sunshine," he said without looking up, sliding a mug my way. Black, 2 sugars, just how I took it. How did he know? "Thanks," I mumbled, sinking onto a stool. My brain lagged, replaying the night in fragmented code. The elevator, the words, the almost touch. Heat flooded my cheeks. "Ethan, about last night." He set the tablet down, eyes locking on mine. Steady. Unreadable. "Alex, there's something you need to know." His voice dipped, grave as a system shutdown. "That confession? It's not the first secret we've shared." I blinked, steam rising between us like a veil. "What?" He leaned forward, elbows on marble, and the truth dropped like a kill switch. "I'm the one you've been emailing for 3 years. Shadowcoder 87. The anonymous friend who talked you through every heartbreak, every doubt. It was me." The mug slipped from my fingers, shattering on the floor in a spray of ceramic and Joe. My world, my safe, scripted world, fractured right there in his kitchen. because if Ethan Hale was my digital confessor, then every wall I'd built was paper thin. And the man across from me, he wasn't just my boss anymore. He was the ghost who'd haunted my inbox, the voice that knew my soul better than I did. But as the shards settled, so did the fear. If he'd hidden this long, what else was he burying? And why did revealing it now feel less like freedom and more like a trap snapping shut? The pieces clicked into place like a puzzle I hadn't known was half solved. Shadowcoder 87, those late-night threads on the queer tech forum, the ones that started as rants about imposter syndrome and bloomed into confessions over boys who ghosted, dreams deferred, the ache of loving in a world that coded queerness as a bug. I'd poured it all out to that faceless handle. The ex who bailed after I went public at work, the family back in Ohio who Skyped with forced smiles, the terror that I'd peaked too early in a city that devoured its young. And always, Shadow's replies. Measured, wise, laced with a dry humor that felt like home. You're not broken code, Alex. You're the algorithm they wish they could replicate. We'd never exchanged pics, never doxed. Safety first in the wilds of online vulnerability. But now, staring at Ethan Hale's unmasked face, I saw it. The cadence in his words, the quiet empathy that cut through my chaos. You came out choked, a laugh hiccup hybrid. I knelt to gather the mug shards, knees protesting on cool tile, anything to avoid his gaze. All this time? Why the hell didn't you say something? He slid off his stool, crouching beside me with a dustpan from God knows where. Our hands brushed, deliberate, as he took over the cleanup. Because I was scared, Alex. Same as you. Up close, post-shower, he smelled like salt air and soap, his stubble a shadow begging for touch. But the vulnerability in his eyes pinned me harder than any suit. Haletech was my fortress. Coming out, that could have torched it all. Investors pulling funding over distractions. Bored whispers about stability. And you, God, you were this light in my feed, raw and real. I couldn't risk dimming that by showing up as the suit who signs your checks. I rocked back on my heels, the broken mug a metaphor too on the nose. So you watched me unravel from afar, like some digital guardian angel with a god complex. His jaw tightened, that familiar clench. It wasn't like that. I started as Shadow to vent my own shit, closeted exec in a straight-washed industry, faking it through mergers and mixers. Your posts, they mirrored mine, kept me sane. He dumped the shards in the trash, rising with a sigh that stirred the air. Last night, when you confessed, it was the glitch I needed. No more hiding. The kitchen clock ticked, a metronome to my racing pulse. Outside, gulls wheeled over the bay, free in ways we weren't. I stood, close enough to map the flecks of blue in his grays. Ethan, this changes everything. The job. What if HR? Forget HR. His hand found my arm, warm anchor. I want this. You. If you'll have a man who's been lying by omission for years. The kiss happened then, inevitable as a commit push. Soft at first, testing, tentative, his lips brushing mine like a question. I answered with hunger, fingers threading his damp hair, pulling him closer. He tasted of coffee and confession, a low groan vibrating as I backed him against the counter. It wasn't fireworks. It was a system sync, 2 datasets merging seamless. His hands roamed my back, bunching my borrowed tea from his drawer, apparently, thumbs tracing spine like debugging lines. We broke for air, foreheads pressed, breaths mingling. Breakfast? He murmured, half-smile crooked. Starving. I shot back, and we laughed. Easy, unscripted. Pancakes from a mix he swore was artisanal. Eaten at the island with the Chronicle spread out, comics first. He teased my bedhead. I mocked his Spotify queue, all ambient electronica, zero soul. For an hour, it was bubble perfect. 2 guys stealing time before the world rebooted. But reality pinged like an urgent Slack. My phone buzzed, Jamie, no doubt dissecting my MIA night. Then Ethan's, a bored email, Q4 projections attached. He scanned it, face hardening to CEO mode. I have to head in. You too, that pitch. The drive to the office was a tightrope. His Audi purred through Embarcadero traffic, radio murmuring NPR on autonomous vehicles. We didn't touch, but the space hummed with unspoken code. What now? Labels? Discretion? At the garage he parked, turning to me with that storm gaze. Tonight, my place, we'll figure the protocols. I nodded, throat tight. Yeah, protocols. The day blurred into hyperfocus. My pitch for the AI ethics expansion landed like a viral tweet, board nods. Ethan's subtle thumbs up from the head table. But under the applause, paranoia flickered. Did they see the flush on my cheeks? The way my eyes tracked him? Lunch with the team was minefield casual. Dodging Jamie's texts. Spill. Bitch. Where'd you crash? By 5, I was drained, crashing at my desk with a Red Bull chaser. Ethan's IM popped. Rooftop. 6 p.m. Bring your appetite. Heart stutter. The office rooftop was his thinking perch. 360 views of the city sprawl. Telescopes for stargazing on clear nights. I arrived to string lights twinkling early. A picnic spread. Charcuterie. Wine. That same indie playlist from the party. He waited in chinos and a Henley. Casual Ethan a revelation, vulnerable, human. We ate cross-legged on a blanket. City hummed below like white noise. Talk flowed freer. His Yale days, coding in dorms while dodging frat haze. My Ohio summers, fishing with Dad who later cried at my wedding invite. To Jamie's cousin, a platonic sham. Laughter bridged gaps. Wine loosening more truths. Shadow once said my heart was a black box. I mused, grape stem twirling. Turns out it was you peeking inside. He caught my hand, thumb circling knuckles. I fell first, Alex. Your words, they were my lifeline. The kiss this time was slower, sunset gilding us gold. We lay back, heads together, watching fog creep in like a secret keeper. This could blow up, I whispered. The power dynamic. Scandals in tech. Remember that startup founder outed last year? Lost everything. Ethan's arm tightened around me. I've got lawyers. And leverage. But yeah, risk. He paused, voice dropping. There's more you should know. About why I stayed hidden so long. I propped on elbow, dread pooling. Tell me. My ex Marcus. We were together in college, secret, intense. He outed me to the wrong people right before a big funding round. Nearly tanked the early days. Taught me walls aren't optional. The name landed like a Trojan horse. Marcus, vague echo from forum tales. Shadow's ghost story. And now, ghost. But he circles sometimes. LinkedIn pings. Catch-ups. Ethan's jaw ticked. Ignore protocol. But promise me. If he reaches out. I will. Seal with a kiss, but the bubble pricked. Dinner devolved to take-out Thai on his couch. Binging The Office for normalcy. Michael Scott's antics drew laughs, but tension simmered. Unspoken what-ifs. Midway through an episode, his phone lit. Unknown number. He silenced it, but I glimpsed the text preview. Missed you at the gala, eat drinks? Marcus. The ghost knocking. Ethan pocketed it, face neutral. Spam. I let it slide, curling into his side. But sleep that night, tangled in his sheets, came fitful. Dreams of code unraveling. Shadows with familiar smiles. Monday hit like a DDoS. Office buzzed with post-party gossip. My inbox a flood. Ethan kept distance, professional nods in halls, emails CC'd to teams. Smart, necessary. But by lunch, Jamie cornered me in the break room, soy latte in hand. You ghosted, and you're glowing. Spill. Nothing? I lied, stirring my yogurt. Just a late night. Bull. I saw you leave with him. His eyes narrowed, campy drama queen. Boss man? Lex, that's career suicide or rom-com gold. Shut up. But grin betrayed me. We huddled, whispering plots like scheming devs. Jamie, my ride or die since freshman orientation, hyped the fairy tale. Cinderella with spreadsheets. Afternoon meeting sealed the high. Ethan greenlit my campaign, praising it in front of VPs. Carter's vision captures our soul. Our eyes met, private spark amid public polish. But evening soured. At home, Jamie out at drag bingo, I scrolled the forum for old threads, Nostalgia bittersweet. A new DM pinged. From Shadow no Ethan? Wait, no. Unknown. Hey Alex. Been lurking your posts. Coffee? Marcus Hailtech alumni. Chills spidered my spine. Marcus. How? Stalking my profile? I deleted it, heart thudding. Told myself coincidence. But when Ethan's text came, can't make tonight. Emergency board call. Doubt seated. Was it really the board? Or the ghost text from brunch? I paced the apartment, bay breeze rattling windows. Called Jamie voicemail. Poured wine. Scrolled Ethan's public feed. Polished keynotes. No Marcus tags. But digging deeper, LinkedIn, there it was, Marcus Riley, venture scout at a rival firm. Grinning profile pic with Ethan's old Yale tag. The wine turned bitter. Trust glitched. Next day, Ethan pulled me into his office post stand-up. Floor-to-ceiling glass, bay bridge framing like art. Missed you, he said, door locked, pulling me into a fierce hug. Board drama, acquisition snag. Relief flooded, but I pulled back. Got a DM last night. Marcus. Said he's alumni. Ethan's face drained, mask cracking. What? Show me. Deleted, but description sufficed. He paced, hands raking hair. He's poison, Alex. Always sniffing for weakness. Probably saw us at the party. Us. Public already? He knows. Guesses. Ethan stopped, cupping my face. Block him. I'll handle it. I did, but the seed sprouted thorns. That night, over dim sum in Chinatown, talk skirted edges. His past wounds, my insecurities. He broke you, I said softly, chopsticks pausing. Made you shadow. Ethan nodded, eyes distant lanterns. And you mended it. But trust, it's fragile code. We made love then, not rushed, but deliberate, bodies mapping forgiveness in his king bed. Slow explorations, whispers of names like prayers. Afterward, tangled limbs, he traced my tattoos, a rainbow circuit on my rib. You're my upgrade, Alex. But dawn brought the alert. Company Slack exploding. Anonymous leak. CEO Hale in compromising position with subordinate. Photos attached. My stomach plummeted. The rooftop, someone's phone? Betrayal's blade twisted. Not just exposure. The sender's watermark? A ghost from the past. The leak hit like a zero-day exploit. Silent, devastating, ripping through Hailtech's internal channels before anyone could patch it. By 8:17 a.m., the exec floor was a war room. Lawyers on speed dial, PR scrambling spin scripts, devs whispering in side channels. I stared at my screen, the blurred photo searing. Ethan's arm around my waist on the rooftop, my head on his shoulder, time-stamped 6:42 p.m. Innocent, intimate, but in boardroom optics, catastrophic. The watermark flickered in my periphery, a stylized MR, in pixelated font. Marcus Riley. The ghost wasn't knocking anymore. He'd kicked in the door. Ethan's office became bunker central. I wasn't summoned. Plausible deniability, he later explained. But I watched from my desk, heart a frantic loop. Suits filtered in and out, faces grim as outage reports. Jamie slid into my cube at 9:15, eyes wide behind his blue blockers. Holy shit, Lex. That's you too. Shoo. I yanked him close, voice a hiss. Not here. He pulled back, glee warring with worry. This is peak drama. But babe, if it's out, own it. Easier preached than coded. By noon, external chatter erupted. TechCrunch teaser. Hailtech CEO in alleged affair shock. Twitter ablaze with Hail hot mess. I ghosted to the stairwell. Chain smoking an e-cig I swore off months ago. Bay fog mocking my haze. Called my sister in Ohio neutral ground. Lexi? Mom saw on CNN. You okay? Okay's relative. Tears pricked. I blinked them back. Just processing. She sighed. Big sis steel. Love's messy. But you're Carter tough. Fight for it. Fight, right? Back at my desk. Ethan's IM. My office. Now. The walk felt like the Green Mile, colleagues' glances lasers. Inside, chaos reigned. White barred scrawled with contingencies. coffee rings staining deal memos. Ethan looked wrecked, ties discarded, shirt untucked, eyes bloodshot. He crossed to me, door sealing us in glass silence. Alex, I'm sorry. For what? Existing? I snapped, adrenaline spiking. This is Marcus, isn't it? Payback for whatever he thinks you owe. Ethan deflated onto the couch, head in hands. Yeah, hired a PI last year after he started circling. Turns out he's bitter, broke. Lost his fund gig. Blames me for blackballing after the breakup. He looked up raw. The photos? He tailed us from the party. Paid off a valet for access. Rage boiled, hot and code red. We sue. Drag his ass. Already on it. A ghost of smile. But the board. They're spooked. Want me to step back. Cool the optics. Step back. From the company. For me, the room spun. And us. His hand extended, palm up, offering. Non-negotiable. You're in this, Alex. If you'll stay. I took it anchors in storm. We plotted there, huddled like hackers in a heist flick. PR pivot to personal matter. Focus on innovation. Internal memo emphasizing inclusivity. By evening, the crisis crested. Marcus's IP traced to a shady VPN. Cease and desist drafted. But the damage lingered, a persistent error log. That night, we holed up at his place. Takeout forgotten for strategy sessions on the couch. Wine helped, loosening knots. Remember that thread? I said, feet in his lap. When Shadow quoted Asimov, never let your sense of morals prevent you from doing what is right? He chuckled, massaging my calf. Cheesy, but yeah, you called me out on it. Still do. Lean in, kiss salt-tanged. We made the evening hours. Slow, reclaiming, bodies affirming what words couldn't. No rush, just presence. His fingers charting my freckles, my lips tracing his scars. Appendectomy, he said, but eyes said more. Afterward, bay lights winking collusion. He whispered, I love you, Alex. Drunk or sober? Echoed back, it sealed something deeper than lust. Commitment, glitch-proof. But Marcus wasn't done debugging our firewall. 2 days later, the betrayal escalated. I got a package at work. Manila envelope, no return. Inside, printouts of my old forum posts, highlighted confessions, annotated with red pen. Pathetic. He used you too. And photos. Not rooftop, but intimate, me and an ex, years old, sourced from a hacked cloud. Tucked in, a note. Ethan's type. Pretty boys who break easy. Run while you can. Your friend, M. Paranoia peaked. I confronted Ethan in the garage. Envelope thrust like evidence. He knows everything. How? Ethan scanned. Face ashen. I might have shared snippets. Early on, when we were just Shadow and StarCrafter. To help him move on post-breakup. Anonymized, I thought. You what? Betrayal stung sharper than exposure. My vulnerabilities, fodder for his ex's therapy? You traded my soul for closure? Alex, no. He reached. I flinched. It was clinical. Quotes, no names. He must have connected dots over time. Or you slipped. Voice cracked. All those years you knew me inside out but hid. Now this. He recoiled, pain mirroring mine. I trusted him once. Mistake. But I trust you. Always. I stormed out, Audi keys jangling in his fist. Drove to Jamie's, our apartment safety net. He took one look, poured gin. Dump the tea, Han. All of it. Confessions, leaks, the note's venom. Jamie listened, then hugged fierce. He's human, Lex. Messy as us. But if he crossed that line. I don't know. Midnight scrolls through old threads. Shadow's wisdom now tainted. Every reply a potential leak. Sleepless, I drafted the breakup text. Need space. Too much code rot. Deleted. Rewrote. Love you but trust crashed. Fix. Sent. His reply, whatever it takes. Meet tomorrow. Neutral ground. Golden Gate Park. Dawn joggers ghosts in mist. We walked the bridge path. Fog veiling Alcatraz like regret. I was wrong. he started, breath clouds. Sharing anything was a violation. I'll end contact. Full block. Restraining if needed. I nodded, arms crossed against chill. It's not just that. The power thing, boss, employee. Feels stacked. Resign me as your lead, he offered, halting. Take a lateral to another team. Or, quit Hailtech. Start fresh. Together. Quit. The dream job. The ladder I'd climbed bloody-knuckled? But his eyes, pleading, open, tugged. Give me time. Days blurred. Work a tightrope. Avoiding his floor. Nights with Jamie. Dissecting like code review. Marcus struck again, publicly. A blog post on a niche tech gossip site. Inside Hailtech's closet. CEO's predatory patterns. Vague accusations, but my anonymized story woven in. Imposter fears. Heartbreak echoes. Comments erupted. Toxic bro culture. Another Me Too for tech? Board summoned Ethan. Rumors swirled of his ouster. I testified internally, voluntary to HR, vouching his character, our consent. It's love, I said flatly, cheeks burning. Not coercion. The probe cleared him, but scars lingered. Climax crested that Friday. Marcus cornered me outside a coffee run. North Beach fog thick as his smirk. Tall, polished poison in a Burberry trench. Eyes Ethan's echo but crueler. Alex, right? The flavor of the month. Back off, I snarled, fist clenched. He laughed, low. He'll discard you, like he did me. I have proof, emails where he admits manipulating you via shadow. For control. Heart seized. Liar. Read them. He pressed a USB into my palm, vanishing into steam. Home plugged in files. Screenshots. Ethan to Marcus. Post-breakup. The kids' posts are gold. Keeps me sharp. Reminds me why I built walls. Another, he's hooked. Useful. Context twisted. Venting, not malice. But doubt poisoned. I confronted Ethan at his condo, USB slammed on the island. Manipulating? That's what I was? Your therapy puppet. He scrolled, paling. Alex, this is edited, cherry-picked. I never. Save it. Tears hot. You're the master coder. Always 3 steps ahead. I was just the mark. Stop. He grabbed my wrist, desperate. I fell for you. Real. The rest? Noise. I wrenched free, door slamming echo. Ran into night, cab to Jamie's, sobs racking. Betrayal's apex. Not just him, but the illusion. Love as algorithm, me the variable. But dawn broke code. Jamie. Nursing me tea. Hack back. Lex. Demand the full log. I did, hired a freelancer buddy, traced the emails. Forged timestamps. Metadata lies. Marcus's fabrication. Desperate bid to burn Ethan down. Drag me collateral. Truth armed, I returned. Ethan's door, unlocked. Light on. He sat wrecked, scotch half gone. Eyes red-rimmed. Go, he rasped. I get it. Instead, I knelt, USB in hand. It's fake. All of it. But the hurt? Real. We rebuild, or we crash. He searched my face, then crushed me close. Rebuild. Please. We cried then. Ugly, cathartic, washing the rot. No sex, just holding, hearts sinking raw. Rebuilding wasn't linear code. It was iterative, full of regressions and hotfixes. The scandal's aftershocks rippled weeks. Marcus slapped with a defamation suit, slinking to obscurity with a whimpering settlement. Hailtech stock dipped then rebounded, PR spinning resilience narrative, into TED Talks on corporate vulnerability. Ethan testified at a queer tech panel, voice steady, hiding costs more than honesty. Me? I took the lateral to product innovation, no direct reports, no optics. Freed us to date like normals. Farmers markets in the ferry building, stealing oysters and kisses. Hikes in Marin, fog-kissed trails where confessions flowed freer than sweat. But scars itched. Trust therapy, yes, we went. A queer couples counselor in the Castro with rainbow flags and plants that thrived. Sessions unearthed landmines. Ethan's closet guilt, manifesting as over-control. My imposter echo, fearing I'd glitch out. You're enough, he'd affirm. Post-session walks hand in hand. The upgrades mutual. Public came gradual. First, Jamie's birthday bash. A dragtastic rager at a hate speakeasy. Ethan showed, tentative in jeans and a tee, nursing a gin Ricky amid glitter bombs and lip-sync battles. I introduced him casual. This is Ethan, my guy. Cheers erupted. Jamie crowed. Finally! We danced. Clumsy, laughing. His hand low on my back, world fading to bass thump. Family next. Ohio Christmas, post-scandal dust settled. My folks' ranch house twinkled with LEDs, snow dusting the fields like binary. Ethan fidgeted in the kitchen, chopping carrots for Mom's stew, while Dad grilled him on Brown's stats, mild hazing. Coming out redux. We're serious, I said over pie, his hand under the table squeezing. Mom teared up, hugging fierce. He looks at you like you're the whole damn internet. Lex. Dad clapped Ethan's shoulder. Treat him right, or Ohio justice. Laughter bridged. Acceptance a warm front. His side? Trickier. Ethan's folks, old money Boston, wasps with a side of repression, had iced him post-Yale outing. No invites. Just quarterly checks laced with disappointment. He hadn't spoken to them in years. But New Year's, buzzed on champagne at a rooftop gala, work function. Optics be damned. He got the call. Mother? Frail voice? Ethan? The news. We're proud. Finally. Bridge mended tentative, dinner plans floated, therapy vetted. Spring bloomed scandals into stability. HailTech launched the ethics app, my campaigns fueling a user surge. Ethan and I synced lives. His condo gained my chaos, comic stacks, a fiddle leaf fig that Jamie named Ferngully. Mornings. Coffee rituals, him in boxers reading Wall Street Journal, me sketching ad mocs on his thigh. Nights. Marin Theater, indie flicks where we'd whisper plot twists, or quiet cooks. Paella that charred once, laughter over smoke alarms. Conflict lingered subtle. A bored push for Ethan to settle down. Code for wife, heirs. He shut it down but doubt nagged. They see us as phase. He confessed one fog-bound evening, bay black as ink. Not forever. I turned from the window, heart stutter. Then make it forever. His eyes lit, dawn breaking. Proposal wasn't flash. No Eiffel knockoff, no skywriting. June solstice, Baker Beach at sunset, waves crashing like applause. Blanket spread, wine chilled. He knelt. Nervous, adorable, ring simple platinum with a circuit-etched band. Alex Carter, you've debugged my world. Marry me? Be my constant. Tears saltier than sea. Yes, recode complete. Wedding was us. Intimate, Castro Chapel with rainbow pews, Jamie officiating in sequence. By the power vested in me and Liza Minnelli. Vows handwritten mine. You saw my shadows first. I'll light yours always. His. From code to heart, you're my open source. Dance floor spilled to street fairs. Family mingling with tech kin under string lights. But humanism's core isn't fairy dust. It's the grit beneath. Post-vows, Ethan's mom visited. Stilted at first, her apologies fragile as china. I failed you, she admitted over tea. Feared the world more than loved my son. Forgiveness flowed slow, but real. Letters exchanged, visits planned. My own doubts? Therapy unpacked them. The leaks echo, fearing exposure's blade. Ethan held space. We're beta tested. Stronger for it. A year on, HailTech thrived, diversity hires up, a queer resource fund in our names. We mentored. Forum AMAs as a couple, sharing scars to scaffold others. Marcus. A footnote, rehab rumors. A quiet apology letter Ethan burned unread. One autumn eve, Golden Gate fog gowned, we walked the bridge, anniversary ritual. His arm around me, wind whipping. That drunken night, he mused. Best error ever. I leaned in, kiss tasting of salt and forever. Truth we woke to? Unbreakable. And in that American sprawl, city of dreamers, heartbreakers, we coded on. Not perfect, but human. Loving loud, glitches and all. Epilogue whisper. Years later, adopting our son. A bright-eyed coder from the system, named Riley for the fog that hid and revealed. Family photo on the mantle. 3 grins. Bay backdrop. Proof. From confessions crash to this. Love's the ultimate upgrade.